And welcome back to Chicago Stadium. Rick Barry will be joining Steve Jones and yours truly, Bob Neal, in just a moment. Rick, of course, just coming off that Legends game. And, Steve, there's no question about it. We're going to be dealing with a potentially surly competitor here as his team lost there at the end of the ball.
Well, he's depressed. You know, he had the big shots at the end, and then he had the rebound, and somehow he lost the ball. So, you know, he's taking a lot of grief in the locker room right now.
You know, I had a friendly little wager as to who would outscore who, Collins or Barry. And Collins got him by a point, if I'm not mistaken. But let's talk a little bit about that Legends game, because it was a beauty, and the fans here didn't even want him to leave the court.
Well, the fans really got into it at the end, and Calvin Murphy, he had a lot of time for this. Now watch, right at the end, look at the hands go in the back of Thurman, and he said, wait, where's the call? Too late. I don't think they could have taken much more time anyway, but I think the West wanted one trip down the other end.
That's right. Something you have to consider in this game. Collins, by the way, had 10 points in that ball game and 6 rebounds, and he looks very fit. You have to consider the condition of the players about the overtime.
You know, the thing that this game shows is that you can be fit for life, but you can't be fit for basketball, because there was a lot of heavy breathing out there.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this three-point contest that's coming up here in just a moment. Danny Ainge warming up, and there's Craig Hodges. The competitors have drawn for the order they're going to shoot in today. It's going to be Ainge first, followed by Trent Tucker, Craig Hodges, Mark Price. It's going to be Scott, Ellis, Bird, and Shrimp. That's the order they're going to go in the round of 8, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's look back just a little bit to last year. In 1987, Larry Bird, Steve, survived a three-way shootout in the first round to go ahead and win. This is the third three-point shootout competition this year. This is last year's, and it was Detlef Shrimp and Larry Bird in the finals.
Well, the key was the call, and Bird decided that he was going to be the guy to go first. I think he did two things psychologically: keeping that jersey on, winning the flip, and then burying all of those shots at the top really put a lot of pressure on Shrimp, and he never really recovered, although he made a big rush at the end.
Well, Larry Bird has made more three-pointers than any player in NBA history and attempted more through the 3rd of January this year. So it was Detlef Shrimp and Larry Bird. Shrimp missed that last one. That ball, the red, white, and blue ball, which is worth 2 points, would have sent that last year into an overtime, a 24-second shootout. And now we've been joined by a very perspiration-soaked Rick Barry. You look like you were in pretty good condition. You said you were.
Well, I felt pretty good out there. I just wish the result had been a little bit different. I was telling Dave Collins, it was like we were playing in the NBA Finals. All of a sudden, they were knocking us down, beating us up, and the whistle was never blown. That's what I should have kept my whistle for.
I predicted there would be some kind of disagreement by Rick Barry with an official's call, and there you go. He lived up to my expectations. We'll be back in a moment to talk about the rules of the three-point long-distance shootout coming up in just a moment from Chicago Stadium. The American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout rules are relatively simple. The competitors attempt to score from behind the three-point line. Its longest distance, 23 feet 9 inches. Shortest in the corners, 22 feet. They'll have exactly 1 minute. And remember, and we'll remind you of this, each round is scored separately. The baskets made from each round do not carry over. There are 5 balls in each rack. 4 brown balls worth 1 point. 1 red, white, and blue advantage ball worth 2 points. If tied, the players would compete in a 24-second shootout. And that's the basic rules, not much more to it. And gentlemen, Steve and Rick, talk a little bit about these locations and what some of the strategy we might be seeing today.
Well, I'll take the corners. I think that those are the places where they can really make their biggest dividends. If they can get the balls to go in from the corners, they have a better chance to really get a big score.
Well, you know, the big thing is I think the forwards have the advantage there. Probably Danny Ainge, the only guard in the contest who really does take a lot of shots from that spot. Trent Tucker, of course, he would like it from the outside. Dale Ellis shoots from the outside. But I really feel with you, Steve, that that corner shot for Larry Bird, Shrimp, and some of the big guys will be the key.
All right, we'll come back and meet the 8 competitors in today's long-distance shootout right after this. Stay with us from Chicago Stadium. From Chicago Stadium, along with Steve Jones and Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. Just moments before the American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout, the competitors today are Danny Ainge from Boston, Larry Bird from the Celtics, Dale Ellis from Seattle, Craig Hodges of Milwaukee, Mark Price, the second-year youngster from Cleveland, Detlef Shrimp from Dallas, the man who took Bird to the finals last year, Byron Scott from the L.A. Lakers, and Trent Tucker, who's the career three-point leading shooter in the NBA. And They are not competing against each other, which I think is something for everybody to remember, Steve, and that is that what they'll do, that all 8 will shoot in the first round, of course, and we're looking for the top 4 scores. The maximum, there are 5 racks of balls, 25 balls. The maximum number of points that can be scored are 30. So the top score, and a good score would be 16, 18, something of that number. A good score, and then we will list the top 4 scores. They'll advance to the next round. And you saw the money. The championship will be worth $12,500. And our first player is going to be Danny Ainge. Here's Danny Ainge from Boston. He's 6'5". He made 23 consecutive games of three-pointers on a pace to set records for most three-pointers made and attempted in a season.
Well, you can see Danny, he likes that side shot, but again, Danny really is quite a jump shooter. He uses his legs a great deal, and that could prove to be detrimental to him in this competition.
And Dale Ellis, he's blossomed into one of the NBA's leading scorers last year. He averaged nearly 25 points a game, won the Most Improved award. Dale Ellis.
Well, I think Dale Ellis, of all the players in this, wants to prove that he belongs in the All-Star game. He's had a tremendous season so far. He has the ability to strike from long distance, but he, like Ainge, is a jump shooter as well.
And Craig Hodges from Milwaukee was the runner-up in the inaugural American Airlines long-distance shootout 2 years ago. Won the NBA three-point title in '86 on the final day of the season.
Well, he also, again, purely a jump shooter, and he had like 25 points in the competition 2 years ago, but it seems like he runs out of gas the longer the competition goes because he uses his legs so much.
And here's a youngster who played his college basketball at Georgia Tech. He's become one of the NBA's most dangerous long-distance shooters, shooting right near 60% from three-point line.
Well, that makes it easy to say he's my guy. I'll go out on the limb, and I'll take the young guy, Mark Price, but he's a jump shooter as well. He likes to get the ball in a rhythm, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Last year's runner-up, when his final shot bounced off the rim, 6'10" forward from Dallas, this is Detlef Schrempf.
And he's the fellow that I think still has the chance to upset Larry Bird. He came very close last year when he did miss that last shot, as you pointed out. But as you can see, he's more of a set shooter. He really doesn't use his legs as much. He can get into a rhythm, shoots the ball more like Larry Bird. And I would say that he would have to be seated number 2 right behind Larry.
And Byron Scott's enjoying his finest pro season in the backcourt for Los Angeles this year. He's a 5-year veteran, NBA's three-point leader in '85, and he's a good one from long range.
Well, the key for Scott, I think, are the corners. He loves to shoot the ball down in the corner, and if he can get a good stroke going from there, I think he might surprise and score well.
And just like you saw there, as you see Trent Tucker, if he can shoot the set shot, which he can do, he's got a good chance.
Trent Tucker is a 6-year pro. He leads all active players in career three-point accuracy.
Well, I think Trent Tucker, he's a street shooter and one of the best, and if he gets a stroke going, he'll be dangerous early, but again, he has a tendency to run out again.
And the man, 2-time defending champion in the shootout, who sank 11 shots in a row in a stretch in the finals 2 years ago. Last year made 8 in a row to defeat Detlef Schrempf.
Well, Larry Bird is, again, the man to do it all. He has such great confidence, and I think the biggest advantage he has, Steve, is the fact that he believes he's going to win every time he steps out there.
Yeah, and he tells all the other guys that, too.
Larry Bird and Danny Ainge have been talking about All-Star Weekend, this three-point competition, and the All-Star Game tomorrow for the past month on the Celtics. That's a kind of a no-holds-barred New York rules, ribbing each other kind of ball club, and the two of them have really set themselves up for today's competition. Now, the players had a drawing to determine the order of the shooting today, and it came out this way. Danny Ainge will go first, followed by Trent Tucker, Craig Hodges, Mark Price, Byron Scott, Dale Ellis, Larry Bird, and Detlef Schrempf. So Danny Ainge is going to begin here. He ranks 3rd in active players in career three-point shooting with a 576 mark. And the thing I think that has really made this thing very interesting is that Danny Ainge has attempted more shots than a lot of teams this year. And 2 players are going at the same time. On the other end is Trent Tucker. On the left will be Ainge, and we'll be following Ainge with on the left side here, and Trent Tucker will be on the right side. Steve, you keep a check on Ainge.
Well, Danny Ainge just got his money ball to go in.
Same with Tucker. Trent is going more for the set shot. He's not shooting the jump shot, trying to save his legs. He just knocked another one in.
Well, so did Ainge, and he got another money ball, but that was a good rack for Danny Ainge.
Now remember, the brown ball's worth 1 point each. You got to shoot all of them before you shoot the 2-point red, white, and blue ball. Exactly 30 seconds left. Ainge is ahead by 3 baskets at this point.
Well, Tucker's struggling here, and of course you want to get the highest point total. They're not against one another. Tucker's starting to find the range right now, 2 in a row. 3.
Ainge is still competitive.
Tucker got 4 out of 5 with the money ball the last rack.
They're tied at 10 with 8 seconds remaining.
Tucker missed all but 1 in the last rack.
Ainge got the money ball.
Ainge finishes with 13 points and Trent Tucker with 11. Now remember, this is not head-to-head competition. The top 4 scores of the first round will advance to the semifinals. So Trent Tucker with 11.
And remember, last year, 13, they had a playoff to see who made the 4th spot. Larry Bird was involved in that and won the shoot-off to make it into the next round.
Well, those are both pretty good scores for the guys that started, and that's going to put some pressure on Mark Price
and Craig Hodges.
Mark Price will be, as we look at them from our courtside seat, on the left, and Hodges will be on the right. They have 1 minute. There are 25 balls to shoot, a total of 30 points, and Steve Jones is going to keep track of Mark Price, and Rick will be watching Craig Hodges.
And Mark Price.
By the way, as you watch these fellas underway, Ainge has been credited officially with 14 points, and we'll do more about that later.
Well, Price got 2 of the balls in his first rack, including the money ball, and now he's on a stroke.
Hodges only got 1, the money ball, and finally hit a second one. Craig definitely struggling here, Steve.
Well, speed and accuracy is important, and Price is doing just that from right in the middle of the court.
Exactly 28 seconds left. Both players have a little more than 2 racks left.
Well, Hodges made a ball, but he was on the line. It disallowed it. He had another one taken away, Hodges.
Tough night for Hodges against Price, who's shooting extremely well now.
Price has 11 now. Hodges 7. 10 seconds.
This rack hurts Price if he doesn't get the money ball.
Hodges didn't get all the shots off because of the jump shot. Plus, he had 3 baskets made taken away because he was on the line.
So unofficially now, Price with 14, Hodges with 10. Ainge also had 14, so that means Ainge and Price both have 14. Tucker with 11, Hodges 10. The top 4 will advance. And now the official score for Hodges is 9 points.
Hodges looks like a fighter, and they're taking everything away from him.
Just a reminder.
Well, you can see how hard he's breathing. When you shoot the jump shot, it's going to be the case. It takes more effort.
And the next 2 competitors will be Dale Ellis, number 3 from Seattle, against Byron Scott, who wears number 4 from the Los Angeles Lakers.
Ellis is ready, and he really wants to do well tonight.
Remember, Ainge and Price both have 14 points.
Byron Scott.
Tucker with 10 and Hodges with 9.
Byron going to the set shot, not using the legs, has knocked 3 in a row in.
Ellis has got 2, and the money ball.
5 in a row for 6 in a row now for Byron Scott.
He had 7 before he missed.
And Ellis is shooting the ball well, and the crowd has gotten behind him now.
30 seconds remaining. Scott with 10 points, 11, and Ellis with 7.
And he's got 4 more in a row, and counting the money ball. He's shooting the set shot, and he's got it going for him.
Ellis gets the money ball, so he's still in the hunt on points.
Scott only got 1 in the next to the last rack.
Scott with 14, Ellis with 12.
Ellis with 3, 4 in a row. The 4th one popped out.
10 seconds remaining.
2 more in a row for Scott. 3 in a row. He likes that corner stick. You pointed it out. And the money ball. The advantage ball hits.
Well, both of these young men had a very good round. Scott finishes with 19, Ellis with 15, and right now, out of 6 competitors, the top 4 will be Scott, Ellis, Ainge, and Price as of now.
And the heat is on.
And Dale Ellis didn't get all his balls up.
And the final 2 competitors will be Larry Bird and Detlef Schrempf, who were the finals last year. And let's take a look at Scott here.
Is Scott finishing off as he knocks another one in? You see him shooting the set shot, not the jumper. He's going to have plenty of legs left. He's going to be very tough in this competition using this style. There he goes, knocking him down, and the advantage ball for 2 points. And he's got the high point total, and a lot of pressure on these 2 fellas now.
They've got to get at least 15 to get in.
14 for a shoot-off.
So Scott has 19 points, Ellis 16, Ainge and Price 14 each.
Larry
Bird and Schrempf.
Well, Bird, he lights that corner, and we'll see how he goes.
Shrimp, 2 in a row. 3 in a row.
Just made 1. Now he's even at 2 in that first rack.
Shrimp hit 4 of the 5, counting the advantage ball.
Remember now, Bird had to get into a 3-way shootout, a 24-second shootout last year to advance. He starts very slowly, and the key to beating Bird is beating him here in the first round.
Well, Shrimp is hot.
Well, Shrimp is hot. They both started on the same side. They can't see each other, but Bird just got the money ball in.
And Shrimp hit 4 of the 5 again.
We have 20 seconds remaining. Detlef Shrimp with 13 points. Bird with only 10, now 11.
That's a big one for Bird. He got the money ball.
And Shrimp had a bad rack. Is next to the last rack. He needs some here. They're tied. Bird just moved ahead.
5 seconds left.
Shrimp ties him.
Bird hits the big 2-pointer for 17 points. Shrimp will finish with 15 points. So the top scorers are Scott, Bird with 17, Ellis with 16, and with 15 points, Detlef Shrimp.
And
unofficially, those are the top 4.
Knocked out Price and Ainge. That was some clutch shooting by both players. The last 4 players came through.
They really shot the ball well at the end. Shrimp can't believe he didn't get that one.
So that was the finish of round 1. Now let's just double check again. We have Scott with 19, Bird 17, Ellis 16, Shrimp with 15 to advance as we look at Shrimp on his first round competition.
See, he's basically a set shooter. He jumps a little bit more than Larry, but he got it going there on the middle rack. As you can see him dropping him in.
Advancing to the semifinal.
So Larry Bird this year, last year had to go into a 24-second shootout. This year, he finishes second among the 8 to advance.
Well, I think Bird was thinking on that last rack, just make sure I get a couple of brown balls in and then finish with that money ball, and he did.
All right, we'll be back with the semifinals. It will be Scott, Bird, Ellis, and Shrimp when we return to Chicago Stadium. So this will be the order of competition here for the finalist. We will have the first shooter is Detlef Shrimp, who will go first. Shrimp, Bird, Ellis, Scott all made it, with the eliminated players being Ainge, Price, Tucker, and Hodges. So Detlef Shrimp, who took Larry Bird to the finals last year. The rules are the same in this round as in the round of 8, except the players will shoot 1 at a time. 1 minute, 25 balls, a maximum of 30 points.
Now Shrimp, who got off to a great start the last time, is struggling in that first rack.
It looks like he's got a little too much legs. He's going a little long on a lot of his shots, Steve.
Well, I think Shrimp is more subject to the psychological pressure than anybody else, but he's got it going now.
That last one didn't count. He was on the line, so he only has 1, and he's going to be in big trouble. I don't think no way for him to make it into the final.
In regular season play this year, Shrimp hitting only 3 of 18 for 17% as of the 1st of January, so he has been struggling all year.
And he's struggling right now. As I said, his chances, unless he knocks all of these balls in, or the majority of them, are almost impossible to make it.
Now he needs a big finish. He was jumping up and down, hoping he'd get that money ball in. He just got 5 points.
And we have 3 seconds left, and Shrimp has had a nightmare. Detlef Shrimp unofficially with only 5 points. That'll almost certainly eliminate Detlef Shrimp unless everybody else goes ice cold. Remember, the scores from the first round do not carry over. Individual scores in each round here. Can you see if anything's wrong with his form or anything, Rick?
Well, I think it's so much the form as it is just the fact that he got off to a bad start and he feels a little bit of pressure trying to make all of the balls at this point.
Looks like he's shooting the ball a little bit off to the left side. That one that he knocked in, the last one didn't even count because it was after the buzzer, but a lot of his shots were a little bit left. He may have had his hands to the right of center of the ball, but he definitely did not have the groove going that time.
Now Larry Bird is the next competitor in this semifinal round. Bird shooting 39% in game 3-pointers on the year. He has 1 minute, 25 balls.
It's always nice to hit the first one, but Larry not being able to get in the groove yet.
Got the big 2-point ball, however, at the end.
Well, this is your guy, Rick, and he's always been able to perform well under pressure, and he usually picks up steam with each rack.
Well, there's 2 in a row, 3 in a row. Let's see how many he can come up with. 4.
Including the two-pointer. 8 points for Bird now.
He's got
30 seconds left on the 60-second shot clock.
Yeah, he's got the rhythm going right now.
And Bird's got 13 points with 20 seconds remaining.
Now, he's not getting to the racks too quickly, but he's able to get a lot of shots out of him very fast.
That's because of the groove he gets in. That set shot, he doesn't waste a lot of effort.
18 points for Bird, 8 seconds left.
19 and counting, make it 20.
And he gets the two-pointer. Unofficially, 23 points for Larry Bird. That's only 2 points short of the record 25. The maximum you can get is 30 if you hit every shot. So the hired assassin with the sharp eye is firing it on target today.
You see Larry finishing off. Look at that smooth rhythm. The shot, 1 step back, pick it up, the shot. Back and forth. He is like a machine, and the results are almost like a machine. He's really got it down to a science.
Larry Bird, the leader. We're in the semifinal round of the American Airlines Sheraton Long Distance Shootout from Chicago Stadium, along with Rick Barry and Steve Jones. This is Bob Neal, and we're going to have Dale Ellis coming to the line now. Dale Ellis, who had 16 points on his first attempt, had been slumping a little bit earlier in the year in long-range shooting, but comes into this competition hitting 42% in game action.
Ellis is real strong from the corners, and he just got the first one to go. Let's see if he picks it up as he moves around.
Only 1 out of the first rack. That's not good for Dale. But watch the difference in the style. He has so much more motion in his shot as compared to Larry Bird because he takes more of a jump shot.
But he got a good stroke. He got 4 out of 5 balls in that rack.
Now we have 34 seconds left. Ellis with 7. 8 points now, and 8 points. He's 2 racks left with 21 seconds.
He just needs to try and make as many as he can here down the end to put some pressure on Byron Scott because Shrimp is out of the competition right now.
Shrimp had only 5 points. Hits the big two-pointer. That's 12 points for Ellis. 7 seconds left.
See if he gets through all the balls. This is where he didn't finish the last time.
Let's see if he gets this one off. He does not. So Dale Ellis unofficially finishes with 12 points. Bird had 23, Ellis 12, Shrimp 5, and now the final competitor will be coming up. That'll be Byron Scott.
Well, great concentration by Dale Ellis, but again, he took just a little bit too much time. It may hurt him now. When Byron Scott goes, because he had such a great start, I think he might feel a little bit more pressure than everybody else.
Well, Byron is a clutch performer, and I like the way he's shooting. We talked yesterday, and I said, Byron, if you're going to have a chance, shoot the set shot. He said, really? I said, definitely, save your legs, and that's what he elected to do here, and he knocked them down in the first time.
All right, we have Byron Scott from the Los Angeles Lakers. He has a minute of clock time. He's got to get better than 12 to finish second.
Got 3 on that first rack, so he's off to a pretty good start.
Well, Scott has his most trouble right out here from the side, so he's got to get some business done in this rack and the one from the middle.
Got the big two-pointer right there with 35 seconds. Scott has 7 points.
Got 9.
He needs to beat 12. 24 seconds for Scott. He has 9.
Plenty of time left. He just needs to get it to drop in. A couple more.
Now, the shot seems to be flattening out right now, and all he's getting is the front rim.
This would give him 11. 10 seconds.
He needs 2 more.
He's not going to get it.
Byron Scott unofficially has 12 points, and that 12 would tie him with Ellis for the semifinals and mean there would be a 24-second shootout.
And I'll tell you, if that happens, Larry Bird definitely is going to be the big favorite because 20 more seconds of shooting can really hurt them. You see the slow motion shot of Byron Scott. Good form, nice follow through, good rotation on it, and he's able to knock that one in. No, he got the bad bounce on that one.
Now we have Scott officially with only 11 points as they've checked it. It is 11 for Scott. So the winner is going to be, the two finalists will be Larry Bird and Dale Ellis. There will be no shootout, and they are going to the middle of the arena for a coin toss. So Byron Scott, officially with 11, is eliminated.
You see Byron shaking his head. He really had it locked up. He had 2 racks to go, only needed to knock in 3 balls out of 10, and wasn't able to do it.
Well, that rack on this side there in that deep position, all of his balls kind of flattened out. They hit the front rim, and that really put the pressure on him. And here comes Bird back in a familiar position. So let's see if anybody can upset the world, and that means Dale Ellis.
Let me explain the coin toss here. They'll toss the coin, and the winner of the coin toss can elect to shoot first or second. The loser will then have his choice of baskets.
It's like Dale won the toss, Bob, and is deciding what he wants to do.
Saying I will receive.
Dale Ellis won the toss, and he can choose to go first, and he has said he will go first, and Bird chose the end opposite to the direction they are walking for his shooting.
Well, he's been wearing this end out. So
We'll be back in a moment for the finals. Dale Ellis, we are not going to go away. Dale Ellis is going to shoot right now. 1 minute, 25 balls, a maximum of 30 points. The winner with $12,500. Second place, $7,500.
This first rack is probably the most crucial for Ellis. If he can get a good rhythm going, he'll have a chance.
Well, he's got it going, like you said, Steve, 4 in a row.
And you know, I might mention here, he may have launched that first ball before the siren sounded, and we'll make sure to see if that in fact is an official point.
Ellis is a player that, you know, can feel a little bit of pressure, but he's got some good results in the first 2 racks.
Now we have 30 seconds remaining, and Ellis with 9 points, and 11 with the 2-point ball.
Let's see if he can get all the balls up this time. He has yet to do that. Well, this rack has hurt him, Steve.
Got a big ball there. Now he's got to really go with some speed and accuracy from the corner.
10 seconds left, 14 points for Ellis. He gets them all off. Unofficially, Ellis with 15, but we're going to hold just a second to make sure of that. The first shot may not have counted. And Larry Bird, the 2-time defending champion, nobody has ever defeated him in the long-distance shootout, is set to go right after we take a look at Dale Ellis.
There you see Dale firing away. He got off to a terrific start, like you said, Steve, and I thought that that would get him going. However, even though he shot well on the second rack, the third and fourth racks were really his downfall. He was only able to drop that 1 brown ball and 1 2-point shot in on those 2 racks, and that could prove to be very costly going up against the defending champion, Larry Bird.
You know how Bird is. He feels that when the money's down, no one is better than himself.
Yeah, watched him. He lined all those balls up to be in the perfect position on that first rack. I'm surprised he didn't do it on all of them.
He has 60 seconds, 25 balls. He has to beat 15 points, a slow start.
But he warms up as he gets going.
3 points out of the first rack.
Well, he's all over the place in this rack. Usually he comes back with that big money ball that keeps him close.
He's hit both the money balls, both the 2-point balls.
It's like he's over-adjusting. He's come up short, and then he's all of a sudden throws it a little bit long. He certainly doesn't have that normal Bird rhythm going for himself.
He does not. And 25 seconds remaining. He has only 7. Has to beat 15.
That's 8. Make it 9. And 10. 11 as we're counting. 13.
Huge rack that time for Bird.
He's still got to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the money.
Yo! Larry Bird at the buzzer with the 2-point ball. 17 to 15. Defends the long-distance shootout crowd at Chicago Stadium.
Our winner is Larry Bird. Every fan in his section received a McDonald's VR gift card. Good for 3 breakfast on 20.
Ice water in his veins.
The man is really spectacular. He was all over the place, as Steve pointed out, in the first 3 racks, and when it came down to the money time, this is what the man responded to. He needed to make a couple down the stretch. He needed to make the last 3 to win, and he's down to the last 3. There's 1. Now he's tied, and now he's the winner 3 times in a row.
He knew it when he let it go and was headed for that check in the winner's circle. Bird came through with a big shot.
All right, we're going to come back and have the trophy presentation and an interview with Larry Bird, who has won all 3 of the long-distance shootout. They're going to handicap this guy next year. We'll be right back to Chicago Stadium. So there you have the final standings of the 1988 long-distance shootout. Larry Bird, the winner, 17-15. And it was really interesting there at the end. Now, on the floor right now are Mike Chamberlain, Director of Sports Sales for Sheraton, Al Thomas, Senior Vice President Operations West for Sheraton, Tony McKinnon, Vice President Advertising and Marketing Programs, American Airlines, and Adrian DeGroot, President of NBA Properties, presenting the check for $12,500 to Larry Bird, the winner for the 3rd time in a row.
And you can see they had a sticker to put on for his name, but they should just written it out to Larry early.
The question is, will he share it with the rest of his teammates?
As Michael Jordan did in the Slam Dunk Championship, my prediction is no. They say Larry, while not being what you'd call cheap, watches his money.
He's got more than most.
Here's the presentation of the trophy. Wonder when they retire it, as how many will win. Who will be the next great outside shooter? And speaking of that, I'd be interested to hear what both of you have. And aren't there more three-point shooters coming along now because of high school and college three-points?
There are, but again, the difference is being able to shoot what is considered a man shot from NBA range and being able to get some sort of rhythm. Bird is a set shooter, and he's got the technique down to a science.
I really believe that it has to be a set shooter to come along. A jump shooter, if you have to shoot that many shots, your legs are definitely going to go on you. I don't care how young you are or how good a shape you're in.
Now let's go out to the middle of the floor following the trophy presentation, and Craig Sager.
Thank you very much, Bob. I guess it was no surprise, but the dramatic way in which you won it this 3rd time is amazing. What were you thinking after the terrible start on that final round?
Well, I just worried about getting the 2-point balls down after I missed the shots, but you know, I knew he just had 15 points, and I still had plenty of time. Once I got to the top of the key, I knew I had to make some shots.
Those first 2 racks, the ball was all over the place. How did you get your rhythm back?
Well, you have to concentrate a little bit more and take your time. A minute's a long time to get up 25 shots, so I just took my time and was just hoping that some of them would start dropping for me.
With names like Al Capone and John Dillinger, Chicago's had some memorable shootouts. Maybe not stakes this high, but nobody cooler under pressure. You really thrive in this.
Well, it's a lot of fun. You know, the guys come out, and it's a little bit harder than it looks. I got out there, and I knew I had to beat 15 points. I just took my time and made some shots at the end, and everything worked out for me.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Larry Bird winning the long-distance shootout for the 3rd year in a row. And if you thought that was exciting, stay tuned because we have the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship next on All-Star Saturday.